Yep. Good morning, everyone. So last session we learned about number type. So in data types we discussed about how we can deal with number type. So now we will see one example with these number types. Example, already I told you that we will design something like EMI calculator and all. We will see that. For that, some more data type references we will see, because it contains both numeric and string type of options. As I told you already, how we can convert the mathematical operations, mathematical equations into JavaScript. For that, later you will learn operators and all, but already we discussed number type. In number type, we learned about how do we, what are the values referred as numbers. We discussed at this point, what are the values referred as numbers? So many: signed, unsigned, float, double, and all this. One more option is we discussed about how to parse a numeric string into number type. And it is not string to number type. You should say numeric string. Why? Because you cannot convert a string into number. Right? A numeric string can be converted into a number. Right. Next important, we discussed about how to check the type. How do we check the type? Is it number type or not? Right. We have type of operator. Another one is NaN. Right. We learned this too. Next, after understanding this, means how do we work with this? Next concept is we discussed one more is, while dealing with numbers, how to handle the various numeric operations by using math. Math is used for defining mathematical operations. Let's create one simple example and see how we can work with that. Means how we can handle that, right? I will show, because see, to create examples, you need lot of things. Means you need events, you need to work with various. We will separately learn about events. So in JavaScript, you have a separate concept to discuss about events. Like till now what we used, event like onload. We used event like onClick, right? Several more events we will see. But for that, we have to discuss separate events concept. We can't wait until event concept comes to start event, because to understand various scenarios, in between we have to use here and there some events. So that is not a problem. Later we will have separate discussion on events and complete list. For dealing with some concept based examples, some events you need to know. Those I will give here. Till now we used onload and onClick. Onload means, so what action to perform? What are the actions to perform when body loads? You have seen that. OnClick means what are the actions to perform when user clicks. So here, let's try to design this one. So for example, we have HDFC Bank. In this HDFC Bank, so let's go to scroll down, and you see we have a personal loan calculator, and we will try to design this calculator. So now you can see this is one calculator. First, we have to get this interface design. Then we can make it functional, we can make it work, right? That is the interface design. The basic interface design here you can see. So here, when I am scrolling this, when I'm sliding this slider, it will get the value displayed here. And when I am sliding here, so it is displaying the value there. And when I'm sliding here interest rate, it will get the interest rate and display here. Usually this we need to first create, we need to first design that. So how do we do that? Let's create that design interface. And these are changing. When value is changing, on change, this will be displayed there. Okay. So let's create one simple example here. I am creating this example. For that, we will go into Visual Studio. Here our project. Let's design that first. And because you are already aware of HTML, CSS and Java's basic styles, you know how to create the design. Design is not the concept that we have to learn, because at this level, once you are here for JavaScript, means you should know already how to design the screen. JavaScript will give a functionality to that screen, right? So if anyone asks what is your level of HTML, how much you know, that means you must be able to design the screen. This screen, if you can design, that means now we can think that you are good in your web development designing. That means this is not JavaScript. This is just HTML, CSS, Bootstrap combination to design. Functionality we can give, right? So JavaScript is not teaching this design. JavaScript is teaching how to make this design function, right? So up to HTML, CSS, with that knowledge, you must be able to design these screens actually. Now let's see here. Suppose what I will do is in this, I will add a new file in public. I'm adding a new file. Let's say EMI.html. Now in this, what we will do here, we will design a page. In this, I will say EMI calculator. And we want to use some Bootstrap styles. Then let's keep link. So link relation is style sheet, and href is equal to node modules. In the node modules, we have Bootstrap. In that dist CSS and bootstrap.css. We are adding Bootstrap here. And let's keep the container fluid. Okay. And see here we need the design. Let's keep a heading. So here, personal loan EMI calculator. Okay, and let's create a container. Now in this container, so this is the personal loan calculator. And in this, we need to create here, we need to create 2 rows, 3 rows we need. So this design contains, this is the first row, and this is the second row. And you can see here, this is the third row. And actually in the first row, 3 rows are there. In every row, there are 3 columns. And in the last, it is having 1 column. That is the basic design, right? And with your general HTML, CSS, you can design. Because we have Bootstrap, it's easy. I can put a class as row. In the 3 columns means we will use call. We can evenly distribute the class call for 3. They will be responsive and they will distribute. Okay. In the first column at the top, it have a option called amount you need. Okay. So we say amount you need. Beside this, I want to display the amount. Then I will put a text box. Input type is equal to text. I don't want a large text box. So then I will just keep the size to some 10. Right. That means this will give amount you need. Okay. That is the text box we have. And after that, what I will do here is for 3 years. So amount you need here, I will put ampersand hash 8377. This will give an symbol. This will give an rupee symbol there, right? We are having rupee symbol. Right. So now here we will put one more option for how many years. In the next column, here we are giving for and input type is equal to text. Here I will give size as 2. So years. That is the second one. Interest rate, how much? That means last column contains interest rate and input type is equal to text. Size I will give as 4 and it have a percent. Now this is what in the first row we are having. So that is what we are having in the first. That means amount you need and for how many years we are defining that. Okay, that is next. Actually, that is fine. Generally, what happens here is they kept all this in a container actual. And this container is having a class called suppose box. And what we will do is we will write some style. What is that? Dot box. So for the box, background color is white. And box shadow we give as 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 3 pixel, some gray. That is the box shadow. Padding I give as 50 pixels. Some padding all directions 50 pixels. Then usually it looks like a box. We have a box there, right? That box contains all the content. Actually, box, we are not giving a border. Suppose shadow is 6 pixel shadow, then it looks like this. That is the box actually. We are not giving any border for that, but this makes the box little bit appear better. Okay. That is the box we are having. Now, after this amount you need, now below what I need one more row. This is the first row we are having. This is the first row. In the second row, again, let's create a div and this class is what? Row. Margin top, I will give some 4. That means it will have top margin. And in this also 3 columns, div. So class, this is call. And like this 3 columns are required. I will design 3 columns here. And in every column, again, I will keep a div. In that one span, here I'm just using side by side. You can give. What I will do here is minimum. It is ampersand hash 8377. This is 50,000 suppose. So 50,000 like this I define. 50,000 is enough, right? Yeah. Now after that, I am giving a slider. Input type is equal to range. range. And here maximum I set some 10 lakhs. So like this I defined. So this is the value we are having. That is the input type we have range. And you know, this slider should be for this value only. The slider must be for that particular value. That means it must be for that particular value. It's on there. No? Yep. Now then this value must be, this is must be, means this range must be working for 50 to 10 lakhs. Then you know, in HTML you learned what are the attributes we need to give. Min how much? 50,000. So and max how much? Some 10 lakhs, right? Like this we are configuring. Now once you define this, and for this what I will do is I will put a class as form range. Form range is the class which will put this like this. We want side by side, right? Then we can put this one with a class dflex. That means it will be flexible, but width is not suitable for that. Then we will give little width adjusted for that. Dflex is there, and I need some width to adjust. Column width is not adjusted. So because lot of padding, it may be 30 pixels. Now 20 pixels and 10 pixels padding. It will be still there. Width I will give here. So minimum and maximum range for this. Yeah. So we will keep this width as means it is having a lot of length. Yeah. Then better we can keep below, because so much content we need to flex that. They have below only, na? That means I need to keep in another row. Fine. This I will do one thing. I will use the class called input group. So input group, this will be kept in another what span. Okay. Say dflex. Still adjustable width. This is the width. Let me check once. Can we change the width of this style? Width as some 200 pixel is enough. It is more. That looks okay. Huh? 150, because the width we have there is unable to fit into it. Okay, that's fine. Now we are having this slider, and the slider is defined with this width. Okay, fine. Now this is the space here. That is one slider we are having. Okay. Now similarly, I need to design another option. What we have to do for ears. Okay. Ears also we will put a same concept. Here, let's copy this. And for ears, what we will do, this will be from how many? 1 year to maximum how many years? 5. and we need to collect this minimum is equal to 1 and maximum is equal to 5. And here also there will be default value. What is the value? Value should start with 50,000. Here value should start with 1 that you can define. That is the option we are having. So this is due. Okay, right. That is the second slide. How many years they can choose here, and how many month amount they can choose here. One more we need interest rate. So here we will copy this, and interest rate, it will start with some 10.45 or 10.25%, and here it will end with 18.45%. Okay, then what is the range here? So range is what? 10.25. Max is how much? 18.45. I hope you people learned in HTML. This is 10.25. You learned you can give a step value because it should increment 0.1. Then we will use 0.1. Otherwise, step value will be default 1. Right? That means it will go from 10.25 to 11.25 if you move. We want only 0.1 to include, right? That's defined. Okay, this is ready. This is the columns. So you can select the amount you need, you can select the years, and you can select the interest rate. Now one more option is we need a simple another div. This class is a row and margin top 4, and we have a div. This is class as what? Call. I will give text center, just text center alignment, and let's put a button calculate, and this button will have class BTN primary. That's enough. That's just calculate button is there. You can keep left, right, center anywhere. Now when user, this design is ready. Now when user clicks calculate, after selecting these, it should display the payment, how much every month they need to pay. So usually now this is the slider we are having. First we need to implement functionality for this. When you are moving this slider, this value must be displayed in this text box. So we need some reference names now. So what is the reference name? Amount you need. Amount you need, it is a text box for this ID txt amount. Okay. For this ID, we will give txt years. This is for years. For this ID, we will give as txt rate. So txt amount, years, and rate. Now these values will come from this slider. This slider will have an ID. This is range amount, and this ID is range years. Okay, this ID is what? Range. This is range rate. Okay. Now when user is moving this range slider, that value of slider must be displayed in those text boxes. Then we have to write event on change. On change indicates what is the action to perform when user is changing the range. So that means this is amount change is the function. On change of this, it is what? Year change, years change. Okay. And here on change is what? Rate change. These are the three functions. Now these three functions have to work. Let's write a script here. You can write in a separate file. and link that file, or you can write here. We will maintain a separate file for good clarity and all, right? I am going to create SRC scripts here, new file emi.js. In emi.js, we are just writing those functions. Function one is amount change. On amount change, what should happen? The value of slider should be displayed in text box. So document dot get element by ID txt amount. It is a text box. In that, value should be equal to the value of slider. That means document dot get element by ID. So what is it? Range amount dot value. That means range amount is slider. Slider value will be displayed there. TXT amount. Slider value will be displayed in the TXT amount. So next another option now. This is okay. Now another function. What is it? Years change. On years change, document dot get element by ID txt years dot value is equal to document get element by ID range years dot value. Get the value and display there. Okay. Next function we have rate change. What should be there? Document dot get element by ID txt rate dot value is equal to document get element by ID. What is it? This is range rate dot value. Okay. Now this file should be linked in our HTML page. So what is the script? Source is equal to dot slash src slash scripts slash emi.js. So we will keep all the basic rules. Type is equal to text JavaScript. Okay. Now once you define this, now let's see here. When I am moving the slider, its value will come there. And when I am moving this slider, its value will come there. That means years. When I'm moving this slider, that interest will come there. So we are changing the interest rate and we are displaying it. The slider will come slow, one by one value you can change here, right? So we can configure that. So this is basically how to handle. Step value depending on how much step value you given. So interest rate, how much step value you are giving based on that. Suppose I define 0.01, right? That means now I am moving this and you can see 13, 14, 15, 16. The step value. I'm using left and right arrows for one precise navigation. When I'm sliding this, it will get those and display. Right now, this is the years. This is the amount you need and calculate. Now on calculate click, it should tell me how much amount they have to pay. That means what I will do is below means payment made each term. Below I will just keep a heading. So class as margin top 4, ID as result, right? In this result, I want to display how much amount they need to pay. And for that, we need calculation to happen on button click. So on button click, what should happen? On click. On click is what? Calculate click. On calculate click, we have to write a function. So function, what is it? Calculate click. Calculate click. Calculate click. On calculate click, what is the function? The functionality first we need to know the formula. That means what is the formula defining on that, right? So we will see how to handle that. You can give input also. Why it will break. So first listen to the concept detailedly. After that we will talk about doubts. Because in the middle of concept you are very much excited. You will not allow me to finish the concept. Once I finish the concept, then you will have doubts. Okay. Because in the middle itself you will get excited and you will be very more advanced than me. First let me finish the concepts, you will understand. So here what we have to do, we need to do the calculation. For calculation, we need to know how EMI is calculated. Because you have interest rate, you have amount, and you have rate, years. Based on that, how it is calculated. So what we will do, we will go to Google and search EMI formula. You will see mathematical EMI formula for that. This is EMI formula actually. This is the EMI formula. That is basic EMI formula wherever you will go. So that means let's click on this EMI formula. Result is there. Yeah. We have some Bank Bazaar and all these people. This is the EMI formula we are having. That is the EMI formula. In this, what we have to do, first we have to get the interest rate, we have to get the principal amount, and we have to get total number of months, because installment is calculated based on months, right? But we given years. You know how to manipulate that, right? That means first thing, what are the values we need? So P, N, R, principal amount and number of months and interest rate. So first we will create them. We will declare variable P, right? So this is principal amount. And in this, how to get the principal amount? The value present in the amount text box. Value present in the amount text box. How to get the value present in amount text box? Just what we have to do, but it is text type string. We have to use parse. What is it? Parse int. Parse int. Where it is present, document dot get element by ID txt amount dot value. So its value will be in principal. That is principal amount. Okay. Where n, that means number of periods. Number of periods, how much? We have to get parse int again. Document dot get element by ID what? Txt what? Years. Years dot value into 12. Because 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 12 into 12. 3 years means 1 year means how many months? 12 months. 2 into 12, 3 into 12, right? So why? Because installment is calculated every month, right? You entered years, but installment is paid every month. Then we have to calculate by 12, right? Divide into 12. So that means you said 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 2 into 12. That means 24 months, right? Because number of periods will be in months. Okay. Next, what? Rate, interest rate. Interest rate is equal to, rate is a fractional value. We cannot use parse int. We have to use parse float. Parse float. Document dot get element by ID txt what? Rate dot value, but that rate is in percent. By 12 by 100. That will get the percentage destructured and it is converted into the fractional. Because percent sign is not a percent value to calculate here, right? So we need to convert that into by 12 by 100 will calculate it. Okay, next what? Interest rate is there. So that's what they given in the formula, right? Now these are the options we have in the formula. Now, if you want, you can go into the research of detailed formula. They will give you how the EMI is calculated detailedly. Some websites will give you even how to calculate the amount also. The formula behind it, they will give you the formula, right? How do we calculate the formula? So you see the formula is calculated in this way. So this is the formula calculated. This is how it defines. So this generally what we do is we need to get and define into this. We need to convert this into our general. Yeah. So let's go into the formula and see the formula here. And we need to convert into our JavaScript formula, this one, right? Now let's write the formula EMI. Na? So I will write the formula here. So what is the variable? Var EMI is equal to, let's check the formula they have. Right, in the formula P into R into, right? That means P asterisk R asterisk, that is into. After that, what it is having? So power 1 plus R raised to the power of N, right? That means math dot pow. So 1 plus R comma N raised to the power of N. After that, divided by, that means we have slash. And how much? Again, math dot pow slash, here we have 1 plus R of N minus 1. That is the formula they have. This is general JavaScript conversion of the formula. We are converting into JavaScript. Now that's ready. You have to just print this and display inside this heading. Result is the ID. Then I will just print here. So dot get element by ID. What is it? Result inner HTML. Here I will put. So as of now, because you haven't learned strings, later we will learn string. In the advanced string format, we have a lot of good techniques. We can implement them, easy techniques. Here as of now, so here I will write your monthly installment amount is, I will put a B bold, right? How much? B, and here I will put ampersand hash 8377 semicolon, that is currency symbol, plus EMI. Your monthly installment amount is this. We have to define that. And I will put a plus and slash B, that will end the bold. Just in bold letters, or you can display in different font size, we are defining. Actually, that's a heading. If it is not a heading, if it is a paragraph, that will be better, right? Because heading is already bold. So I will give here text center, and I will just keep that. And actually for this bold, if you want to add, you can add a span, right? For this entire amount, right? For this entire amount, you can put a span. And for that class, you can give like class is what? Text primary, that is the class name. And we can close the span here. These kind of complex strings, this is nothing but string in that bold italic, span, anything, inner HTML we are using, we can display. These, how to simplify these strings in the next level you are going to learn by learning string concept. As of now, we will just use concatenations. So here your monthly installment amount is this for how much this, right? That's enough. For if you want, you can say how much amount. So for how much amount, that means plus the amount is P na, for P, and how many years in years. Years is what? It is defined with n. N is number of periods in this, and we will say years. Okay. This looks very complex string. This is what our JavaScript will teach, how to reduce the complexity, how we can make this string as simple. As of now, general string plus dynamic values, we are concatenating, right? Okay. Now this is the basic thing we are displaying. Okay. Now that is on calculate, click, it should display. Now one more point is there. Actually fractions you are multiplying and handling, then this EMI, you will get a lengthy fractional value. Then what you can do is you can use math dot round that EMI, so that it will not get multiple fractional values. It will round that to 8,000, 10,000 like that, not multiple fractional values. Otherwise, lengthy fractional values will come. Okay, now this is fine. Let's run this and see. I am selecting amount is suppose some 3,90,000 something. I'm selecting number of years here, how much. I'm selecting here 3 years. Interest rate, how much? That is 13 interest rate. And click on calculate. It should get that. This is not 36 years. This is 36 months. Or at 36. You can give 36 by 12. Right, 36 by 12 years. Then we have to give, or we will just give 36 months and by 12 years. So this will be like, you can see, I will increase the font size of paragraph also little bit. So here style. So font size, I will just give the size as some 30 pixels. It will be large. Now I am selecting the amount for 4 lakhs, 3 years or 4 years. Interest rate is at 13 or 14. I'll calculate, it will get that. How much amount you need to pay. Now very important is, suppose the number of years are increasing, then the amount should change. That means we have to recalculate that amount. Because we haven't written any logic for text boxes now. We written only the logic for what? Slider. Whenever you calculate, then it will get that and then it will display here. Amount. Now, if you want, see, it depends on your requirement. Suppose if you want the value to be changed here, and based on that, it should calculate. That means you want enter a value here. And remember, if I enter value, because you are taking from text box, that means currently what happens, you entered value, how much? Suppose you entered 5 lakhs, right? And you entered years, how much? Some 3. You entered interest rate, how much? Suppose 14.42. And you click on calculate, it will calculate. But what happening here, when I make some value enter here, it should reflect here also. That is, alternatively you can manage. That is how you can alternatively manage. Suppose when user is changing the value, this value should affect on the value of slider. That value should affect on the slider. So you have to write again event. Event for whom? You have to write event for these text boxes, right? That means now what we have to do, go to the text box. Where is that? This is that amount text box. For that you have to do, what is it? On change. On change means when the value is changing inside the text box. On change, what we will do, we will write here amount text box change. Okay, that is amount text box change. Now here we have to write logic for that. What is the logic now? So function, what is it? Amount text box changed. On that, the value of text box must be applied to slider. That means document dot get element by ID. What is it? Range amount, that is slider. Range amount dot value is equal to, what is it? Document dot txt amount. Txt amount dot what? Value. Txt amount dot value. It should work. Now you can see here. So I am entering amount here. I'm entering amount here. So 50,000. This is like suppose 4 lakhs. This is 4 lakhs we are entering. So then it changes. I'm entering 3 years. So then for that again we have to write change. Here it is changing. That means here the value is changing. At the same time, you enter how much you want. That means this is 19. Here I entered like, so 5 lakhs. After I entered 5 lakhs, then it will go to 5 lakhs. That is change. Actually, what you can do while typing itself, it can slide. Actually, change indicates when you finish, right? You can do here another event. So instead of on change, we can use an event called on key up. On key up means immediately while you are typing here. Suppose I am entering 5 lakhs, then immediately 5 lakhs it should display there. But this key up event will have to get the value immediately and apply. That I will show you while learning key events, right? For that we need event arguments. That means we need to pass that event argument into this. That value we can immediately collect and we can apply. As of now, you don't need to try that. What you can do, simply you can say change. Similarly, you have to write for another text box. What is it? On change. So that is year text box changed. And one more option here. What is it? On change. This is rate text box changed. These are all the functions. That means we need to define those functions and configure them. So we have a function. What is it? Another one, year text box changed. On year text box changed, same line logic we have to use. Just only one option we need to do. What is it? Range years dot value comes from txt years dot value. Another option is there. What is that function? Another is interest. Interest text box changed. So range interest range interest dot value is equal to what? Txt interest dot value. That's what we have to define. Txt interest or rate, range rate. We are using the same. I am entering here some 12.34. So it should be which one? Txt rate. And what is the name given, ID given for this? So function name, we have to change that to, what is the function name? This is rate text box change. Right. So you entered some 13.45, it should change. You entered years as 3, it should change. You entered amount as some 5 lakhs, then it should change. And I click calculate anything, it works in the same way. Right. This is basically done by using, see, if I don't use actually the round result, because we are using round and we are presenting round, right? We are using present round. So we are using the round and presenting round. Where is the round? Here we are using math dot round. If I am not using math dot round, then only EMI I am using. Then usually what happens is the amount for that years and interest rate, and you see it returns in the fraction value, right? So here I can use, so math dot what round. So that is EMI, right? Later you can try a lot of other things. Suppose you want to crop up to only 2 characters. You want to crop up to 3 characters, you can handle them. That is based on the string functions we can manage and use it, right? So usually that is handled by using other string functions, right? This is one simple example of how numbers are handled, how numeric values are handled. We just implemented one general real world. We call these as what generally in JavaScript, these type of calculators and all in website. You know what they are called as? These are called as widgets. These are called widgets. So for example, currency converter, EMI calculators, measurements converters, all these are widgets. That means they ask you to design such widgets. They will say that, okay, you try designing these widgets for this business. Then you must be able to try this. Means first design is HTML. HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, that is your design. But the functionality is JavaScript, and JavaScript developer need not to have a good knowledge on mathematics, because your business people for whom you are developing an app, they will give you the formulas. What is the formula for this purpose? And that formula you must be able to convert to JavaScript. That's it. That's implementation automatically will function. Only the problem you will face is how to convert that mathematical formula into JavaScript. For that, we need to learn some operators. We just haven't learned any operators as of now, but only we learned how to deal with numbers. Right? Operators, when you learn, you can add more functionality for them, right? Yeah. This is one example. Now, based on that, we can define. So this is example. I will copy this example. This is EMI HTML example. That is the EMI HTML design. And another one is EMI.js. That is the JavaScript file we written for that. Okay. Now, based on this, I will give you one task you try. Right. So that means you have seen how we design a simple EMI calculator. Now you try to design. So you try to design a task for you is you try to design a BMI calculator. You try to design a BMI calculator. It's a body mass calculator. Body mass calculator. Body mass calculator, you have to do some research on the formula, because for male, female, these formulas change, right? Because depending on the gender and depending on the height and weight, so it will tell is the age, height and weight. It will tell is he having normal weight or overweight, right? So that we can easily tell we using this BMI calculator. These days, every health websites, every gym websites also have these BMI calculators. So even your smartwatches will give you BMI, right? These are actually designed. So you see, you try to design that. For example, I will show you. Let's check another one. Suppose BMI calculator. This is body mass calculator. See, this is BMI calculator. This is BMI calculator. In that you enter age. Age, suppose I entered 24. Height, suppose some 170 centimeter height. And weight. So weight is, suppose the weight is some 67 kg. Now calculate, depending on his gender, depending on the age and his height and weight, it will calculate and it will display like this. It says normal. That means 23.2 is normal BMI. That means healthy BMI, so is 53 to 72 for that particular age. For example, the weight of this person is suppose 75. Then calculate. You see, interestingly, this slider is changing. That slider is changing. That slider is changing. This is saying overweight. Now, showing this value is okay, good. We can simply show this value. Just like EMI, you calculate by using BMI formula and display. How you can design like this? How you can design? This is not JavaScript. Means this design, and we can make it move using JavaScript. But this design is your CSS Bootstrap. Right? If you want to create like this, right? If you want to design like this, that means how you can create like this actually. For example, I will show you. Means here I will show you how we can design this. Because this work you try. That means you design those text boxes and put the calculate button, and on calculate, you do research on BMI formula, and according to that, you should implement. Okay. Now, how to create this design, these sliders, right? Actually, for that, you can use general Bootstrap knowledge and create that. Let me copy that. Let's create a page here. I'm showing you the sample also, BMI.html. Let's create this here. So we are designing. And here we will see, so BMI, let's link the relation. Relation is equal to style sheet. Href is node modules and Bootstrap. In Bootstrap, dist CSS bootstrap.css. And I need an icon also. Let's link another relation, style sheet, and href is equal to node modules. In that Bootstrap icons, font Bootstrap icons. These are Bootstrap icons. I'll just put a class here, container fluid, just to show you how to design that BMI status. How to show that BMI status? I'm giving a simple point here. Generally, we can create a div. This div is used as progress. We have a progress. In Bootstrap, we have progress. Actually, Bootstrap progress will design like this. That means I will run. Bootstrap progress will put a bar like this. You can see a gray color bar is there. Actually, in this, what we do is what they given in that slider. So these are the values. So that means underweight, normal, overweight, right? So we use a div. This is class. This is one progress bar. In progress, you will have a progress bar. This is underweight. Underweight is according to actually, so underweight below 53 kg, like so. So below 53 kg, like below 53 kg, like this. Like this, I am defined. Just 53 kg, that is underweight. You can see in the progress bar, it looks like this. You can put a value above, below also. I'm giving like this. So, okay, another div. In that what? So this is normal weight. So normal weight. So some 54 to some 70 kg, something like this. And another progress bar, this is overweight. So this is like above. So this is some 70 kg. So how much they have given some? So 70 to 86. So this is 70 to 86, something like this. Rough values I'm giving. There is another value. What is it? This is above 86 kg obese, right? And I defined this one. This is above, yeah, above 86 kg. Like this we define. Now what happens here is actually these are how many progress bars for. For this progress bar, what we will do is here I defined BG dark, and this style have width. This is having width. Width is how much? So actually we have to share among 1200 pixels. That means I will give 400 pixel. That is the width. So same, I will just give this to others. That means this is what? This is also BG dark, width 400 pixels. And this is also BG dark. This is 400 pixels. BG dark 400 pixels. One, I will change this as BG info something. You can see it looks like this now. That is the slider we are having actually. That is the status. We are displaying the status. And actually every div here we have, suppose I'm giving margin E2. That means it will have some gap also. Margin E1, that means it will have some gap. So that you can cleanly separate and show. That means here I am giving margin and some gap will be there. So we have underweight, normal weight, overweight, obese. Actually for this I can give as BG danger. I can keep like this. We can have different colors, right? So for overweight, what we do? We will put BG what? Warning. It will give like this. And for so normal weight is there. So we actually normal weight we can give as BG success, and this we can give as BG info. Like this we can add different colors. So BG dark, okay, that will be in this way. Now the point is how you can have a slider here. That is not a slider, that is manually designed, right? How you can create that? For example, you see below this progress, below that progress, I will keep another div. In that we have a span. In that class BI, so we have BI. So suppose down, we have down, right. So we have down triangular. So triangle. So arrow down triangle. So we have like triangle down or left or top. We have triangle fill. Okay. Triangle fill will put like this. You can use up arrow, down arrow. You can go bootstrap icons. You can check down arrows will be there. That means you can go to get bootstrap. In that you will find bootstrap icons, and you can set any bootstrap icon here. Icons are there. You can search the icon as suppose icon is triangle, and triangle down is there. You can see it is caret down fill. It is having like caret down fill. So then it looks like this. Now the question here is, so how you will make it move? That means we have a div. Suppose I say u like this is I define. How you will make it move? How you are going to make it move? That is the key point here. Suppose I given like a class text center. It is like this. But general point here is how you will make this span and content move. This should move. Right. Actually, we will keep this in a div. And here, so we will put an ID, your status. Okay, that is your status. Now this is your status. I need to keep it moving. Right? How do we keep this moving? Okay, let's enter here temporarily. I will write some script to make you understand. ID is what? Your status. Okay, let's go here. We will write a script. In the script, so we will simply put a value, your weight. Right? We will get it from parse int. Parse int is float. Prompt, a parse int, prompt, enter weight. Okay. Now what I will do is here I will put the value here. If I will get one more, what is your status? Document dot get element by ID. What is it? Your status. Now what we will do here? So if condition, if your weight is less than how much? Some 53. Right? So your weight is less than 53. Then what we will be do here? Your status, that is actually div. The div should move. So dot style dot x-axis. That means we will give margin left. So margin left. Margin left we will give here is equal to, suppose up to 400 we can give. That means I will give 200 pixel. That is 200 pixel. Just rough value I am giving. Now, else if another condition, if your weight is greater than 53, greater than or equal to 53, or say greater than 53 or 54, I will give. And what is it? Your weight is less than how much? Suppose 70, less than 70. What should happen? Your status dot style margin left, style margin left. What should be there? Margin left. I will keep margin left as suppose 500 pixels because it should be less than 800. Between 400 to 800. 400 to 800 means I will give as some 600 pixel. Like that. So you can define conditions in this way. For example, if it is normal weight, right? So it is overweight. That means it should be 800 to, I think this is another value, 0 to 400, 400 to 800, right? Now you can see like this, you can give the values. Your weight is suppose how much? Some 50 or say 40. Then it should display that value. Let's, okay, I am entering weight as how much? Some 60. It is not applying. Let's check. Some value problem is there. Style. Okay. Cannot read style. What is the style attribute? Your status. Your status is a div. Where is the div? That div should move. Let's chase on load. It is not taking. This is different. Cannot read null. Why it is not reading? Let me check. Actually, this weight, I'll just get the status first here. This is not required prompt. First, let me write here. Actually, we haven't written any function for this. What should we do is we have to write when to do this all. When to do this all? I will do this on body load. Okay. On load, what is it? Body load. Because we haven't written any event. Actually, it should be on different events to perform. Okay. So I entered some 60, then it should go there. Because I haven't given that range now. Suppose it is 45, then it will be like this. I just used normal range because it is original range is this one. Zoom % increased for me. I will go here. What is it? Suppose 60, then it is here. Right? I need to move that because I haven't written all conditions. I written only 2 conditions. Suppose I said 55, then it will be here. I'm writing like some 30, it is here, right? I have to write all the conditions for 0 to how many? 400. So 400 to 800, 800 to 1200, 1200 to 1600. How much distribution you have given based on that, right? This is actually, this slider is moving according to the value you define. According to value you define. This logic you have to implement. That means only one simple point. What you have to do, get the status, how much BMI it is, based on that, move that slider. It is not a slider. It is what? It is actually a simple div. This is general progress bar, right? This is all not JavaScript. This is just basic CSS and all. That's the reason in real world projects, you can't call yourself as web developer with only JavaScript knowledge, right? So you need to be very, very strong in CSS, Bootstrap, HTML, right? What JavaScript only will do? Nothing. First you design, then you need to write the functionality, right? That's the reason you need to be strong in creating these type of interfaces, right? And controlling those interfaces, JavaScript will come. Design, practice this, how to handle. Now you try BMI calculator. Now you add text boxes, height, weight, and age. When user selects, it should calculate the BMI and it should show the status here. If you can try that, that's very good, right? You try creating this example. This is your task for based on what I have given in class. In class, I explained EMI calculator, and for you, I given the task of BMI calculator. Now, once you know this, now we can go into string, Boolean, null, undefined, other data types that we will see in next session. So tomorrow we will discuss about JavaScript strings, how to handle the strings and work with the strings. Before that, let's see how many of you can design this by tomorrow. Okay, try that. If you have any doubts, tomorrow I will check whatever problems are there. Okay, right, tomorrow I'll continue. You must practice, right? You must practice and submit those in the classroom. Whatever exercises you are doing, upload that example into classroom so that I can check. Okay, na? Right? Tomorrow I'll continue them, right?